Hello?
Hello?
David Ayer?
Yeah, that's me.
I was just calling to tell you how much I loved Suicide Squad.
Thanks, man. That means a lot to me.
Wait a second. I meant the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you just tricked me, buddy. Hey, you don't want to call me like that. Hey, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm an artist, you know.
Thanks to the name of this movie, there's been a bit of confusion between this one and the 2016 one. You know, you would think Warner Brothers would learn something about confusing naming, but at least it's not as confusing as the Harley Quinn one. Yeah, I don't even remember what that movie was called. Birds of Prey, right? That's what they went with. But I digress. The story of this one is more or less the same as the first one. A ragtag team of unlikely characters have to work together to do something regular heroes can't for some reason, and this all culminates in a big CGI battle. But remember, they're the bad guys. While I did actually enjoy the first one, what separates this one from the 2016 one is that this one was done way better. It's like the two movies got the same brief, but this one's just leagues above it. First one was a generic villain takes over the world, and you have the mini-bosses be zombies. This one had zombies too, but they only came in at the end, and the main appeal was what was the driving force behind creating the zombies, not just like whacking them. So yeah, while it's better than the first one, it doesn't completely take a huge shit on it, because the continuity is still there. It doesn't erase or retcon anything that happened. In fact, it even makes a little more sense if you watch the first one, but not so much, so you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. Watching the first movie just helps you understand who like 4 of the characters are, and what the general plot is, you know, why they have Task Force X or the Suicide Squad. And in both movies, you gotta wonder, why don't they call the Justice League? In the first one, they don't call him because Superman's dead, they don't got the team together, and in this one, they actually give a pretty good reason. I'm gonna go into spoilers, so the reason they don't call the League here is because America did some fucked up shit. And you know, if they told the Justice League about what happened, Superman might abandon that whole truth, justice, and American way thing if he knew what the government was up to. And in staying true to their premise, if the story as a whole is to show that these are the bad guys, the movie makes it evident in their actions. Not just, oh, they gotta go back to jail now. They're the villains, so they're not gonna do 100% of the right thing. They're gonna hold on to whatever info they can, you know, just to get some leverage. And they have a twisted sense of righteousness. They're anti-heroes, so I was happy with that. I gotta admit though, the ending was a little bit anticlimactic. Look, I'm just gonna spoil this, okay? I guess Rick had to die for the ending to work. You know, because it was this whole conspiracy and they were gonna tell everyone about what the American government did. You know, and Rick was all about, let's tell everybody. And then Peacemaker was about, no, we shouldn't, you're gonna start an international incident. And then there was this big fight. But at the end, they ended up like, you would think the better of these guys, the good guys of these bad guys, they would be completely okay with letting everyone know America did some fucked up shit. But nah, they hold on to it. They just keep it to themselves. So it was a little bit like, did Rick have to die for this? Did you have to shoot Peacemaker for this? I mean, you're kind of doing what he wanted, so I don't know. I guess Peacemaker didn't trust you guys and he was gonna kill you anyway. So yeah, maybe he had to, but it just felt a little bit lacking. And even Ratcatcher, you know, she was like, no, we gotta tell everyone what's going on. And then at the end she's like, you know what? I saved enough people, that's enough good deeds for one day. Maybe they all thought like, you know, if the government's so fucked up, we're not so bad. You know, we saved a bunch of people. We all do bad things, right? You know, maybe you pirate a movie, maybe you buy some Apple stock. Oh, we're all going to hell. Okay, so this movie gets right into the action. In the first 10 minutes, they kill off a bunch of characters just to show you they mean business. You know, the posters weren't lying. They had don't get too attached as a tagline. In the first one, it was just Slipknot who died, and we all knew he was gonna die because he didn't have a cool title screen. But in this one, it really shocked me when they killed, like, everyone. Or at least everyone we were introduced to up to that point except for Harley Quinn. Yeah, I was sad. I was sad because there were some characters I liked and they died. Just like that, But for those who survived, I'm glad how they actually fleshed them out. Because I thought it'd be something hard to do with an ensemble cast. I talked about how Justice League was always going to be fucked because they had so many characters to deal with in 2 hours. And even Avengers, they had a bunch of movies before that. But I guess I was wrong because in this one, they actually developed those characters quite well. After the first viewing, I can't even tell you who's the main character because they all had their moment to shine. I really cared about them, even though they didn't have much screen time. Maybe it's because they're relatively unknown characters. That way there's not so much pressure to develop them as like you would with Flash or Aquaman. So the movie surpassed my expectations. And the biggest surprise was that there was actually quite a lot of heart. I didn't expect that. I just wanted to shoot 'em up with a lot of guns and explosions and blood and jokes. But there were surprisingly a lot of sweet moments. You had those with the Rat, Sebastian, and Idris Elba. You had it when Captain Boomerang died. The fact that he had a nickname, Boomer, it just shows that, there was stuff going on behind the scenes. They were friends, they were buddies. And then he died. And it's nice to see Jai Courtney act as someone jolly, because I remember 10 years ago, he was in a lot of movies, but they were always so serious. Alright, back to the movie. The first one tried to have a theme of family, but it just felt forced. In this one, they did it beyond just saying it. They actually acted like a group who cared about each other. And I will say, having watched the first one, I can appreciate this one a whole lot more because the characters just seem congruent with who they were in the first one. It still seems like them. There were some scenes that kind of mirrored real life. There was a scene where they were looking for Americans. It just reminded me of the, "Where are your papers? Where are they?" And you could relate that with ICE. You could relate that with people checking to see vaccine cards. It's up to you. That's what movies are for, right? You see what you want to see. Anyway, there were things that were kind of biffy. At the end there when Idris Elba, what's his character? Bloodsport was giving orders. It felt a lot like when Captain America was giving orders in Avengers.
And Hulk. Smash.
Now it! Monster is Num Num! Monster Num Num? Yes!
It's a nice moment, but it's been done. Well, at least they didn't do the hole in the sky again. And at the climax of the movie, it seemed like a pretty big coincidence they brought the right girl for the job, huh? This city's got a lot of rats? The girl control rats? Oh, wow! How convenient! Maybe if you threw in some cockroaches or pigeons or some shit in the mix, maybe I'd buy it. Add a little diversity and inclusion amongst your critter population there. I like that Seb was leading the charge. He was a cutie. Here's a writing tip. If you want to make something sound cool, just speak it in a different language. If you're talking about some huge cartoony pink and blue starfish, just make it sound mysterious. A case in point. Dingo nano apestoso. Like I said earlier, the characters are great. Waller, she's a bitch from the get-go. And I like that. I like that she's fucked up and she kills everyone with no questions asked. In this modern day and age where women can do no wrong, you have straight out villains. You got a lady who kills puppies and wanted to curse a whole town because she wasn't invited to a baby shower. You have these villains and when they have their own movies, they were wrong, they were victims. No, it's like Amanda here is a straight up villain. She was the villain in the first one, and I would argue she's the villain in this one too. And that's awesome. It's not a big departure from what she did in the last one. You'd think she'd get fired for killing so many people and fucking up, but I guess sometimes you need a bad bitch to get shit done. So it makes sense as to why she still has her job. And she's good at it. She's ruthless. I like that. Bloodsport, I don't know. Idris Elba, well, he starts off the movie getting a promotion from Waller in the most, not the best way. So he gets a promotion, and it's pretty clear that he's supposed to be the audience avatar. I heard he was supposed to be Deadshot, but they didn't want to kick out Will Smith, so they just chose a character that was really similar. And not just in terms of power set, in terms of how his relationship with his daughter was. His motivation is to, do what's best for his kid. But I will say, I liked his interaction with his daughter a lot better because Will Smith's, Deadshot's relationship with his daughter was just pretty generic. He says, "Oh, poor villain, he just wants to be a good dad." But Bloodsport's whoa. He's cussing out his kid in front of everyone. It's like watching an episode of Maury. I was okay, alright, this is interesting. Cool dynamic. They love each other, but they're not above fucking cursing each other out. And in terms of power set, yeah, he's pretty much the same. He's just the guy who can shoot well. You know, you got a lot of comic book characters who can do that. You got Bullseye from Daredevil. You got Hawkeye. You got these guys. Everyone's an excellent marksman. You know, marksman and hand-to-hand combat. That's like your basic superhero power set. And I like that they even made a joke about how similar he is to other characters. Like, with Peacemaker. I'm glad Idris has range in this movie. Because I'm so used to him just being the cool guy. This time he gets, like, you get to see him frustrated, you get to see him pissed off, you get to see him afraid. I've never seen Idris Elba afraid of anything. This was cool. Even with Thanos, he was like, you know, he was just doing his thing. I think he already got pwned by the time we see him in Infinity War. So yeah, he had a nice rivalry with Peacemaker. And Peacemaker, he's pretty much a hitman. I think John Cena was perfect casting. Not only physically, but he's just really good at striking the balance between comedy and being really menacing. And also having John Cena be a character who covers up for a corrupt government. Wow! Hiding its secrets? Torturing civilians? Oh, that's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
I can't let you do that, Colonel. Excuse me?
我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是
God, but seriously, he did play a good villain because he's nuanced. He wasn't completely evil. He's just doing what he thought was right, and he does have a point. If you tell everyone that their government is fucked up, there's gonna be a lot of internal conflict. Even though he wasn't straight out evil, he did kill Rick pretty brutally. There's like no coming back from that. There's no resurrections. Except for Weasel. But he was pretty human too. Especially with King Shark. I love that moment they had. You know, when he's like, God damn it, King Shark, not now. And he said, that's very nice. I'm sorry for losing my cool. King Shark's adorable. So I'm not sure if he's supposed to be like a kid or mentally challenged. But he's just the big old cuddly teddy bear. You know, he's a lot different from the previous one I've seen him in. From the Harley Quinn animated show. I don't read the comics, but I'm gonna guess that he's probably not comic book accurate. But it works for the screen, it works for the movie they're making. Another good thing about him is he helps humanize the other characters, like he did with Peacemaker, and he had a lot of sweet moments with Ratcatcher. As soon as she turned up, I was like, please don't kill Sebastian. I love that guy, please don't kill him. And I'm glad they didn't. And she was like the heart of the group. She had the most human relationship with King Shark in Bloodsport. And you feel bad for her backstory and her dad. It's kind of hard to take Taika Waititi seriously. Rick Flag has a lot more motivation in this one than the first one. You know, in the first one he was just like, oh, my girlfriend. Yeah, girlfriends are important, but this is like world at risk stakes here. And this one he just seemed a lot more comfortable. Like he's accustomed to being a leader of these criminals. And he can let loose a bit, you know? He's wearing a fucking Meat Canyon Bugs Bunny shirt. He doesn't have to project being a badass anymore. You know, he's just chilling out. You know, he's just having a good time, broing with the guys. I like him. I was genuinely sad when he died. Now it's time for my favorite character, Polka-Dot Man. I love this guy. I've loved him since Batman Brave and the Bold. I loved it when I saw him in the Lego movie. You know, first time you see him, Jeff Bezos lookalike is making fun of him. And oh my god, his story is fucked up. Like, he's physically fucked up because I don't know if he's pissing out or puking out all these radioactive polka dots or I don't know what, but he's also fucked up in the head with good reason. He's got a lot of psychological trauma by his mom. He's got mommy issues, and you know, I'm glad he got to die happy, you know. And even though I was sad to see him go, it was realistic in the fact that you can't be caught lacking when you're fighting a huge monster, you know.
I'm a superhero!
He could have easily defeated Starro on his own, but he got caught lacking, which is realistic. But you know what, at least he died happy, given how fucked up his life is. And another point I just thought of, you know, this might have been a gay character. I think. Now, I don't like it when they shove it down your throat, metaphorically, that a character is gay. You know, but if you think about it, the signs are there. He's got rainbow colors. He apologizes for being flamboyant. He was really upset when Milton died. When somebody made the joke about him and Milton being butt buddies, he didn't take offense to it at all. He was like, yeah, we were. And that's how you do it, you know? I think. I guess the poster child for this movie is Harley Quinn, right? She had a lot of good moments. And I gotta say, hey, her dressing's a lot more appealing, huh? That male gaze starting to turn out pretty good, huh? Hey, calm down. You got 2 shirtless guys in this movie. Peacemaker, the Italian stallion, that guy she fucked, and, if you include Street Shark, you got 3. If you're into dad bods. So, forgive me for being happy that you got a beautiful woman on screen, alright? I'm so sorry. But even when she kills people, it's like, wow, what a way to go, huh? You got the thunder thighs cross split attack. It's the best way to die. You see, if this shit was in the Birds of Prey movie, I would have watched it. She's being graceful, she's in a pretty dress. It's not that hard, people. And her character, she's crazy, as she should be. She does fucked up things, and she's just, this is the healthy thing for me to do. She's like the women in the Ryan Long sketch about how girls can justify anything.
I don't know exactly why you killed your ex-husband's dog, but I do know that the universe doesn't make mistakes. Everything is as it should be.
And she's even doing the accent. My huge complaint about the 2016 one was, she didn't do it as well as she did in Wolf of Wall Street. She was saying I just imagine I have 16-inch nails and I'm typing around. She's just doing that, and she does it here, and that's great. It's what we paid you for, to play Harley Quinn. One of her defining characteristics is that voice, and she does it so good. And a side note, did Joker actually kill Harley's hyena, Bruce? Because she mentioned something about her ex killing her dog, so I don't know, I'm not watching that movie, but if he really does, I'm really not gonna watch that movie. I hate it when they kill animals. You kill humans in movies, I'm okay, because I expect that, but you kill animals, that's uncalled for, man. They killed a bunch of birds in this movie, by the way. So if you don't like that, yeah, just prepare for it, okay? They don't show the birds dying. Oh, they do. right, the first scene they do, but they even it out later. You'll see. I don't want to spoil everything. I would say one of the biggest reasons you should watch this movie is for the visuals. They do really cool things with text. Instead of character screens like they did in the 2016 one, here they do chapter titles. And I'm a big fan of those because it helps with my reviews, it helps with flipping through DVDs, and what they did here is they actually integrated what the chapter titles were with the environment. So you'd have chapter titles made of trees, or blood, or leaves, or rats. And a lot of times I didn't know if this was practical or it was CGI because it was done so well. It was just a little cool thing, to titillate your eyes. The cinematography, it's art, dude. Some shots are like moving paintings. Definitely worth watching in the cinema. You have some stuff in the trailers, you have the shark guy ripping people up. You have Starro. Some of these shots, you can take them and sell them as NFTs or something, because my favorite one was they shot a whole fucking fight scene in the reflection of a helmet. That's really cool. I don't expect it from a movie. I'm just expecting a basic shot, reverse shot, maybe a little bit of shaky cam, but whoever was the DOP, man, they did a great job. Storyboard artists or DOP, I don't know who's in charge of that, James Gunn maybe. They also had a non-mind-blowing shot, but it was pretty cool. It's when they were telling Ratcatcher 2's backstory, and they showed her memories in the window of the van they were in. And the way it's juxtaposed against her head gave a thought bubble kind of effect. It was very touching. Yeah, it's very sweet. And if you like violence, well, you're gonna love the first 10 minutes, because that shit is Final Destination. My first thought was okay, you know what? This is worth the price of admission. This is, death scenes, some were funny, some were brutal, I mentioned Rick dies, right? The way he dies, they went X-ray on his chest, but with studio lighting. It was like a Mortal Kombat fatality style when they showed his heart getting punctured. And it was really gory and visceral and sad. It was there's no coming back from that. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians is family friendly. This is a fucking bloodbath. And it really helps that the CGI was good. You got blood sports guns. They're really cool. They're obviously CGI. This is endgame Iron Man technology. But why not? This is something to make him look different from Deadshot. Sebastian was really good. There were times I really thought he was a real rat. But there's no way they could train a real rat to do that, right? King Shark looks great too. You're not distracted by the fact that he looks out of place, because he doesn't. He looks like he's really there. And because of that, you can focus on emotional moments, like when he says he has no friends, or when he's left out of going to the party. Funny thing I noticed is that the movie takes place in a foreign land, so a lot of the henchmen and casualties are minorities. You just see brown people getting blown up and shot and stabbed left and right. I'm like, god damn. I'm not calling the movie out for it. It's just, it's something to see in 2021. What does irk me is like, why don't these guys have guns? Yeah, like Harley has a magic stick, but I mean, you guys have other weapons besides melee weapons, right? And I'm not expecting her to be like Deadpool and slicing bullets in half, but, give her a shield or something. But the cool thing with Harley was that she had really cool visuals too. She's actually seeing blood as flowers and rainbows and sparkles and shit. And she got the money shot of the movie because she got to kill the biggest threat of the movie. She busts right into his eye. I'm just thinking, Harley, you're gonna get Super 8 or something, man, because your eyes are open and you're in his eye fluids, and I don't know, maybe she's immune to it. I doubt her ex wears protection. This guy with damage on his head. I doubt he got tested. So, maybe she doesn't care. And it goes to show that she's crazy, so that's a good character trait. Let me talk about Starro. He is horrifying. When I saw him in the trailers, I thought, okay, this is a cute little villain. He looks like Patrick Star. He's pink and chubby. No, they made a silly looking villain pretty fucking scary. But in this one, he was like, Christ. When they showed the little starfish peeling off a human, and you just see like, Triophobia, if you have that, don't watch this movie. It was gross. Now I know why this isn't a Justice League movie. Because Justice League relatively is goofy. And this shit is freaky as hell. Even though the Justice League in the comics actually came together in the first place to fight Starro, I can understand why they didn't include him here. This shit is freaky as hell. Even if Justice League was rated R, this just feels like a completely different genre. It's horror. And that said, the final fight scene was boss. There were people trying to shoot at it, and it's like, y'all bullets ain't gonna do shit. Y'all fucked, man. It was really cinematic too, because right before everybody got possessed by the little Starros, you had this moment of calm silence. And the starfish were flying down gracefully, like doves. But at the back of your mind, it's like, shit, we're all doomed. Even one of the human villains was just resigned to his fate. It's like, yeah, I know. Alright, come at me. I've lived a good life. I got white in my hair. I got a big old fat belly. Let's go. Let's talk about James Gunn for a bit. I'm glad that him and Taika Waititi look out for each other. He was rumored to replace Gunn after his old risque tweets came out, but I'm glad they seem to be friends and they have each other's backs. They remind me of Rob Schneider and Adam Sandler. I haven't watched any Gunn movies other than Guardians. I like dark humor, and this movie being R-rated and having no affiliation to Disney whatsoever, it feels like he's not as held back as he was in Guardians. And I think in those movies and this, he's shown to balance heart and comedy pretty well. And another thing he does pretty well is he has a kick-ass song selection. They used two songs I really liked. One from the Fratellis, Whistled for the Choir, and Just a Gigolo by the monkey guy, Louis Prima. Score's fucking nice too. It feels like a Danny Elfman when he was doing Tim Burton movies kind of vibe. But it was also more epic. Like he had like heart-thumping moments. I don't know why they had to go so hard as they did, but I'm glad they did. I got some questions after watching this movie though. What's gonna happen to June Moon? She's not gonna be too happy about her boyfriend dying. Was she like completely relieved of her curse? I forgot. And Katana! She's such a cool character. I just think she's neat. Why wasn't she in this one? I guess they'd have to kill her off for the ending to work too, so maybe it's a good thing she's not in here. Does the Justice League know about this? Is this movie in the Snyderverse or the Whedonverse? Does it even matter? Is Flashpoint just gonna erase everything? And how's the Flash gonna react to his villain being nixed? I'd imagine he'd be kinda sad, like, I knew this guy, I put him away, but he was alright. I guess you can't tie up all loose ends. That's what keeps the mystery and intrigue going, so we're still interested in the next one. Hopefully there will be a next one. Yeah, so I don't have a numerical system when it comes to rating movies, but I would rate this, watch it in cinemas. We don't get movies like this a lot. There wasn't any preachy shit, it was just good entertainment. And the visuals and shot compositions are awesome. Definitely worth a watch on the big screen, if you can. On top of that, it's easy to follow and enjoyable. Not like some Nolan film. Those are good. but they're always a downer or a headache, and I'll always have to like Wikipedia just to find out what the fuck was going on. This one you can just sit back and relax and enjoy. I'd say it's good for repeat viewing. I'm gonna watch it again. But you can do what you want. But if you do watch it again, you can wear this shirt. Okay, bye.